to All Leeds TV. Hopefully you can see and hear us okay. I am myself, Oscar, in the orange. I've gone tango today. And there is Mr. Phil Miles to the left of me. How are you, son?
I'm good, mate. I'm intrigued to see what your excuse for wearing orange is this time. Is it another ode to Joel Pirou, or is there another reason today?
That's what I fancied it. Yeah, we won the last game. Last time I did this in the big match preview. Let's keep it up.
Good enough
Yeah,
reason.
so I don't know why I called you son. I did. I called you son. You went with it. I called you son just before we went live as well. I'm not sure why I've done that.
Again, you've called me
Anyway,
worse.
Phil. Yeah, I've called you much worse. I've called you much worse
Yeah.
in the last 5 minutes, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right, so let's get into this, mate. Of course, this game's a weird one because it falls the day after transfer deadline day. So whatever we say here, like we talk about people like Sinistera, Somerville, Nonto, they might not even be Leeds players by the time the game starts. This is the mad thing about it. But I mean, let's talk about the transfer window first and foremost, because it could be actually still be key in this game. Kamara, I believe, is very close. Some people are even saying he's signed in the comments. If you can confirm that to us, that would be a great help. I mean, what have you made of the last couple of days in the transfer market? Are we targeting the players you want us to target? Matt O'Reilly, we know a 10 million bid's gone in there. That's got me very excited, I'm not going to lie to you. Well, what's your general feeling on it? I mean, let's talk about players coming in first and foremost.
I think, to be honest, if you're looking at the transfer window as a whole, I know there was a period of it where it got frustrating that nothing was getting done and the squads were getting named with 7-man benches and with 2 goalkeepers on the bench. I actually think the bench the other night in the cup was another sort of nod from Farke with those 2 goalkeepers on there, just to kind of say, come on, let's hurry this up now. Can't be having empty benches or 2 keepers on a bench anymore. Let's get these signings in. And in fairness, they have reacted. Jed Spence is a fantastic signing. Whether it is the Jed Spence that was last in the Championship or a different version, it's still probably the best right back option we've got. There's a chance that he might not play right back either, which I'm sure we'll touch on when we get to the lineups as well. But it's another great option that, let's be honest, if there was a permanent option included in that deal, I'd be even happier. But it's a shame there isn't. But that loan deal goes well. There's no reason, if we go up at the end of the season, we can't say to Spurs, here's the money, we want him. Gruev, I'll be honest, I don't know a hell of a lot about, but comes highly rated, highly recommended, someone that Farke clearly thinks a lot of. It's the right position. We are hopefully about to announce that we've signed another one in that position. I think people will raise concerns over some of the names that have been touted as potentially leaving, but to be honest, you can't look at this transfer window and there's complaints about who went out and on loan and what we didn't make out of the profit and everything. But what's come in, I think the recruitment's been great. All the signings that we've made, they're very un-Leeds-like in that they're actually fucking sensible signings. Everyone is a sensible signing. We've gone out and we've bought the top scorer, or basically one of the top scorers in this division for the last 2 years. Can't ever remember Leeds United doing that. Not for a very long time anyway. We've gone out and bought a top quality centre half, centre defensive midfielder, whatever you want to call him, in Ampadu that can do both roles, and so far has looked genuinely, I'd say, borderline Calvin Phillips level under the Bielsa first season. He looks like he could genuinely dig this level and progress up to the next level with us as well. Rodon looks solid. I know there was obviously the own goal, but I think that's just unlucky. I think he's looked great alongside Pascal. Generally speaking, every signing, minus Caldalo in penalty shootouts, I would be quite happy to say are sensible signings, raising the floor and the roof of the squad. And that team that started against Ipswich, that front 4 alone, if, like you said, we can keep those players before tomorrow's deadline ends, that front 4 is going to terrify a lot of teams in this division. And a couple of weeks ago, we did a show and we said that at the time we thought Southampton and Leicester's squads were the strongest in the division. Since then, they've both lost key players, whereas we've actually managed to retain ours. And I'm actually beginning to think 24 hours time, we do keep Nonto, Cine, Somerville, those kinds of players. And we add another couple in there, like Kamara, if it does get announced shortly, and hopefully, a left back and maybe a 10. I'd actually go as far to say I think we could have one of the strongest sides in the division.
Yeah, certainly starting 11, no doubt about it. And guys, there is just under 100 of you in the chat at this moment in time. You could hit the like button and subscribe button and get in the comments as well. We will be flashing up the comments as we go along. I'm trying to keep a track of them. But yeah, I can only echo what you're saying there, mate. I think the first and foremost, I think the key thing for us is Sinistera. I do think the most important bit of business we can do is keeping Sinistera at the football club. I think it goes from either an average window to a good window or a good window to an average window, depending on what happens there, really. Because the issue we've got now with Sinistera is if he was to go suddenly, unexpectedly, which could still happen, I'm still cursed by what happened with Max Gradle all those years ago, leaving on the 11th hour when everyone thought he was staying. I'm still cursed by that, and other signs as well. Don't go to bed just yet. It still curses me the August deadline day. I don't think I've ever been happy after a August deadline day or fully happy after an August deadline day. So it would make a nice difference to be happy about it. But yeah, there's two things from Fabrizio Romano. First and foremost, it looks like he's confirmed Glenn Kamara, which is pretty much almost confirmed. So that's 4 midfielders now, which I'm very happy with, the depth-wise there. I think they're all nice profiles to have in that central midfield. And that's good to have bodies in there for once. It feels like we haven't signed a midfielder for an eternity, and we're signing 3 in one window. And I think 3 who are all good enough. I think Gruev, from the little I've seen of him, again, a bit like you, mate, I'm not completely an expert on him. I won't say at all I'm an expert on him, but what I can gather, he's tenacious. He's got a passing range about him. He's not elite on the ball in any sense of the word, but he's a nice, solid player to have in the squad. I think he's a deep-line playmaker with tenacity. Glenn Kamara, we know, is a bit more box-to-box, a bit more all-rounds, good passer of the ball, very reliable passer of the ball, and it feels like what Farke wants. He doesn't necessarily want midfielders that are going to score 15, 20 goals a season. That wasn't necessarily what he had at Norwich. He has very solid midfielders to allow the likes of Buendia, Hernandez, Cantwell to express themselves. And that's what I think we'll see a similar thing with Leeds, especially with Sinisterra, Nonto and Somerville. But the other thing Romano said was we've rejected the £20 million bid, supposedly, for Crescencio Somerville. Now, that scares me. It scares me because I think it's a good idea. I don't think we should be accepting anything for Crescencio Somerville. I think he's a very important player for us. No doubt about it. But it just scares me the fact that clubs are also coming in with bids out of nowhere. I mean, who would have thought Burnley would come in with 20 million for Somerville? I did not see that one coming, to be honest. But yeah, that does scare me a little bit, that I kind of had Somerville down as being one of the safe ones in terms of staying out of all our winger options and forward options. But it looks like no one's safe until the clock strikes 11 o'clock tomorrow, I think. Is it 11 o'clock?
I believe so. We might be wrong.
Yeah, whatever it is, people know what I mean.
It was 10 last year, wasn't it? Let's hope it's 10.
I don't know what it is this year, mate. I don't know what it is this year, so I've no chance of last year. But that's the thing. It's like, I don't think anyone's safe until the deadline closes. Yeah. I don't think we can truthfully judge this transfer window until the deadline closes.
No.
But Matt O'Reilly seriously excites me. As an option in that number 10, a natural number 10, he really, really excites me in terms of what he can bring to this Leeds team. And to be honest, 10 million, if we can get him for something around that kind of price, I think it's a great value again. If we can get that one done, listen, it might be getting a little bit greedy, getting another attacking player in, but he would really knit everything together for me and offer that box-to-box presence and something a little bit different to the rest of the attacking midfield. The fact he can be so versatile in where he can play. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the game, because this is a big match preview, Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday so far this season, extremely low possession count, extremely low shot count. It's fair to say, Phil, they're a very, very defensive team under Xisco Munoz.
You know what I'm thinking, mate, and I know a lot of Leeds fans will think the same thing. A team coming to Ellen Road that is bottom of the league. Have they picked up a single point this season? Have they lost all 4 games? Lost all 4 games, conceded fucking 9 goals. We know where this is going. Obviously, after the Ipswich game, I feel so confident in that starting 11. But it would be so unbelievably Leeds to welcome a team that hasn't got a point all season and just lose. So I want to try and separate, obviously, this transfer window hasn't looked remotely Leedsy. Obviously, it started looking quite Leedsy in that we lost a load of players, didn't get any money for them, but that was all the auto side of things. Since you can sort of visibly see a line in the sand where it's the previous regime and the current regime, I think what you can say of the current regime is the business they've done so far is good. And hopefully the team I think the cut-off point, again, for the previous regime and the current regime, in terms of the style of play, is Ipswich. I think the first time we really started to see a Daniel Farke team was away at Ipswich last weekend. And for me, I actually think 4-3 flattered them. Concerns that they scored with basically the last kick of each half, of course, but we've given them one goal on a plate. The own goal, I actually think, was incredibly unlucky. He had to try and do something with it. There was only really the third goal that they scored where they actually created a chance. I felt like we had a lot of chances in the game at Ipswich, and they didn't tend to actually tear through us at all. They were taking pot shots from range, but we created chances. We did pass through them. We scored 4 goals, and we were clinical, which is not something you can really say of a Leeds United team over the last couple of years. So I think hopefully this Farke system and this Farke team and the personnel that's starting to now flood into it, the bench is going to look stronger as well. You should feel quite confident coming into a game. You can't call it form. It's one game, it's one win, but they haven't got any of that. So we should come into this game feeling like we should blow these away with their defence, whether they're going to sit deep or not. And I think obviously it'll bear in mind for people that Salford did something similar to us the other night. They did sit in deep and we did struggle to break them down, but very different starting 11s. I think Pirro on that pitch the other night, it wouldn't be 1-1, it'd be 9-1. I think he'd take at least 4 or 5 chances, but there was too many players on the pitch the other night that just simply weren't clinical enough, didn't have good games. But I think you should feel confident. But then always the Leeds fan in me just thinks would be typical Leeds to not feel confident in it.
No, absolutely. I mean, I've just tested my audio level. I've dropped it down a little bit, guys, just to try and level it out a bit more with Phil. Some people are saying my audio is quite loud, so hopefully I've dropped it down a little bit. Please let me know if that's better. Let me know in the comments if that's better. I've halved it, so hopefully that is better. If it's too quiet now, let me know as well. But let's whisper, careless whisper. Anyway. So let's just go through a quick couple of questions that have come through. This one is one I particularly want to cover. Do you think the likes of Ayling, Cooper, Bamford will accept the very reduced playing time and be real leads or captains, or will they cause trouble? Now, if I can just take that first, if that's okay, Phil.
Yeah, sure.
I think first and foremost, they are going to have reduced playing time. I think that is inevitable. I think Jed Spence will get that right back spot. He might not get it straight away, as spoiler alert to our predictions later on. Liam Cooper, I think, has probably lost his place to Pascal Struijk, certainly in terms of first choice spots. And Patrick Bamford has probably lost his spot to Joel Perreault. So I think it's fair to say reduced playing time will be the case for all 3 players, even when Cooper and Bamford are available. Maybe not straight away, but it will happen. Will they cause trouble? Now, again, I don't know. I really don't see it. I don't see it in terms of when you say cause trouble, I don't think they're going to suddenly refuse to train and then suddenly try and injure the other players in the team. I don't think
bang in a transfer request as well.
Yeah, I can't see that. I really can't see that. I'd like to think that wouldn't be the case. I really can't see that being the case. I think they are professional players at the end of the day. I think it has to stay professional. And I think with Ayling and Cooper, you'd like to think those fancy the challenge. Trying to get themselves back into the team. Bamford as well. It should galvanise them. I don't think anyone, no matter what they've done at the football club, should be guaranteed to start. No matter what they've done at the club, there should never be a guarantee to start. This is far too big a club to guarantee starts in that sense. So, yes, I can see them not getting many games. Do I think they're going to be disruptive influences? No. Do I think the morale's going to be as high as it possibly can be? Also, no, because how can it be? They're not going to be starting games like they have been in the past, so maybe not the same players they were in the past. So that's kind of my take on it. Phil, what would you say to that?
To be honest, I think one of the comments in the chat, Gavin Parry, has kind of hit the nail on the head with 2 of them, Cooper and Bamford. Let's be honest, they'll miss half the season with injury anyway. And that's not even being harsh. It's fitness-wise, they've both tended to miss a lot of games, not just over the last season for Bamford, but Cooper in particular over the course of the last 5 years has missed 10, 15, maybe 20 games a season through injury. Bamford's not really been fit for a good 2 years now. And in terms of the competition alone, you've got to look at what we've got starting these games and go, they are stronger options. With Ayling, I think it's a case of, I don't think he has started the season well. I think the player that we bought in Jed Spence is better. But we haven't seen Jed Spence in a Leeds shirt yet, and we don't know. So I think for me,
I think it's safe to say, Phil.
yeah, but it's not a foregone conclusion, is it? People have said all season that Drama should be thrown in and given a chance, and he gets 20 minutes and gets hooked because it wasn't good enough. I know he's in a different position, but for me, I think Ayling, if he wasn't the only senior sort of leader, captain material that started those last few games, I think may have been dropped for the level of performance. The only question that I think with Ayling, while the other two aren't fit, is just simply who captains that side if he's not in it. And I honestly think that is something that's sort of keeping him in. I know Pascal wore the armband the other night, so maybe that's something that could happen in the future. But for me, I mean, in terms of quality, we've said now for a good 2 years, basically since the day Marcelo Bielsa got sacked, and probably leading up to that point, that we were possibly a bit too loyal to the players that got promoted. We were allowed to have an affection for them, but you know, there was a point where Pablo, Berardi, and Alioski, they left, and arguably, at least one of them could have stayed another year and done a bit of a job, but they all went. Then the season after, we've still got Helder Costa lurking around the club somewhere. There is perhaps some of these players that are still here that maybe shouldn't be. I'm not going to say sell all three of them now, but I do think this season should potentially be the last for at least one or two of them. And then, you know, realistically, all three, will they be here in 2 seasons' time if we were to get promoted again? I can't see it. So they are going to be replaced, and their minutes are going to go to someone else. But I also don't see any of those three, along with Stuart Dallas, for example, obviously not been in the team for a year and a half for obvious reasons, but that core group and what they've been through with this club, I can't see them ever being the type to really cause a fuss, put in a transfer request, be disruptive. I think they'd want to go out. I mean, Coops has got a testimonial at the end of the year if he stays for the rest of this season. So I can't see them particular players wanting to sort of kick up a fuss really before they go.
Yeah, it's a long season, and you know what our record is with injury as well. The chances are they will still probably get some games this season, over the course of the season. So, but
not
I think
cup games,
kids. Well, yeah, there is that. That particular avenue of starts has gone. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Really, it's But if they do start kicking up a fuss, then leave. You know what I mean? That's it. You know, in terms of, I can't see it, but if theoretically if that was the case, I think any player that kicks up a fuss now, they need to be together. Everyone knows that. They have to go for me. If that is the case, they are kicking up a fuss. They have to go. Apparently, Kamara's announcement is imminent, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. Is my sound still okay, mate?
It's fine for me, mate.
Okay. I'll take it as that. Apologies if there is any disturbance, but hopefully that is okay. I've been working on the mic today, guys. I've been working on it, trying to get it working sync with my stream. It seems to be going okay so far. Okay, so I think we should now go into predictions, mate. I think we should go into predictions. Okay. If we're trying a new segment here, guys. Okay, we're trying a new segment. Myself and Phil are going to go face to face every single week, every single match. We're going to do a predictions competition between each other. It's 1 point for each prediction. And in some of these predictions, we will need you guys to judge who wins.
You've definitely got a
spreadsheet
ready here, haven't you? I can tell.
Yeah, it's a competition. We're going to get competitive. It's going to be competitive, but we're going to go into it. So first and foremost, and guys as well, let us know your predictions for each category as well. This is for the Sheffield Wednesday game. Let us know your thoughts. So let's get into it. It's a new feature. Let us know in the comments as well your thoughts on this feature. So first and foremost, for the game against Sheffield Wednesday, biggest good surprise. So I'll go first, if that's okay, Phil.
Go for it, mate.
I'll go first. Okay. Biggest good surprise for Sheffield Wednesday. Leeds versus Sheffield Wednesday. I've gone to Jorginho Rutter. Okay. Reason being, I think we're going to still stick with the 4-4-2. Yeah. I think he actually played well against Salford, despite the missed penalty and the missed chances. I think it was a good performance of Jorginho Rutter, despite all of that. Of course, it's the bare minimum you expect from a £35 million striker. He still needs to deliver more, but I thought he looked far better in a front two against Ipswich than what he has done in his career so far. And this is biggest good surprise. So people like Sinisterra don't count, by the way, just for reference, because it's not a surprise if Sinisterra is man of the match, for example. I think Jorginho Rutter is going to have a really good game against Sheffield Wednesday, and he will get a goal contribution in this game, a goal or assist. He will get at least one goal contribution in this game. And if he does, I get a point. No questions asked.
Okay. I must admit, I like Banjak's comment. If I would have known that I could go anything other than player, I'd have gone with Banjak's. A clean sheet would be a nice surprise.
See, I said to you, it doesn't have to be a player. I was thinking of going for that as well, but again, the biggest good surprise. The biggest good surprise, and then there's Miracle. To be fair, so it's one of them. Phil, do you want us to give us your biggest good surprise of this game?
So I think I picked two, but I'll wait till you flash up the graphic. There we go. So I went with Jamie Shack. So I actually think the second half where he came on against Ipswich at left back, and generally speaking, his performance so far this season, I think he's been brilliant. Farke has spoken this week about how much he loves him. Obviously, there will be a temptation to throw Jed Spence in somewhere. But for me, Jamie Shack deserves to be playing. I think so far he's been like a Stuart Dallas replacement, solid 7.5 Oscar, 7.5 out of 10 every game. He's actually looked good going forward. He's actually looked good in defending. I'm very happy with Jamie Shack, not just as energetic little pest. He's generally added some real end product to his game, which is a surprise to say that he didn't seem to have that wonderful loan spell out at Millwall last season. It didn't seem to work for him, but whatever's going on under Farke seems to be going in his favour. So I'd like to see Jamie Shack continue to get minutes, whether that be off the bench. I wouldn't. It depends on whether Spence is getting thrown in, but I wouldn't be upset if he was to start the game at left back, because I do think he could be trusted there at the moment.
Okay, interesting one. So we'll see who gets the point there. We might hopefully both get the points there. Let's go to biggest flop. It's good to be always positive on this channel, but we are going to do a biggest flop. Now, this doesn't always have to be a Leeds player, although we've both picked Leeds players this particular week. It can be the team we play against, it could be the team in general, it could be a manager, it can be anything on this subject. So do let us know in the comments your biggest flop in this game. Now, I have gone for Crescencio Somerville. Okay.
You are trying to usher
now,
him
hear me out. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no. Hear me out. Hear me out on this one. Okay. There's a reason for this. Okay. This isn't nasty in any shape or form. I think Crescencio Somerville is that good. I think it could be classed as a flop if he doesn't have an impact on the game. And I don't think he will start the game. I think we'll stick with the 4-4-2. I think it'll be Rutter and Pirro up top. And I'm hoping, with that comfortably ahead in the game, Somerville doesn't need to make an impact on the game and only gets a few minutes, as he still keeps up his recovery. So I'm going to keep that as the biggest flop in terms of it won't have a big impact on the game because we'll be so far ahead. He'll only come on for the last sort of 10, 15 minutes just to get his fitness up. I'm going to go for Crescencio Somerville. It's an incredibly ambitious prediction. I'm going for it. I'm going for Crescencio Somerville for that reason. Now, I felt bad for that, but then I saw what Phil's was.
Mate,
now, Phil, I think you cheated a little bit here.
No, you've bottled that question.
That's biggest flop. That is biggest. Right, okay. Yours is worse. Right, no. Yours is worse. Considering performances so far this season,
solid, and
the criticism he's had off Leeds fans, this is worse. What is yours, Phil?
Well, what's his nickname? Ailing Flop. But I mean, no one can see me shrugging at this point. But Ailing Flop, it's a thing. No, so far he's not been.
See, that's clever. That's clever use.
Yeah. So, but no, I think if anyone was going to have, so far based on the first few games we've seen, if anyone's going to put in less than a 6 out of 10 performance, I think the only player I've really gone that low on in every game has been Ailing, unfortunately. It doesn't mean I don't still love and appreciate what he's done for us, but I think quality-wise, it's not been there yet. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he plays, captains the side, and has a great game and gives Farke some headaches. But at the moment, I think with Jed Spence hanging over him and Jamie Shack in form and Cody Drama potentially trying to move out over the next 24 hours, the pressure is on him. And so far, it hasn't worked. Another one that I would also say, Michael Pollard's just put a good option in there as well, Melier, because the clean sheet just doesn't look like it's ever coming.
Okay. But I mean, biggest flop means where performances have been relatively high and dropped. I mean, Luke Ayling recent performances have been probably some of the worst of his career. For being up by his high
Well,
standards as a Leeds United player,
you
I don't
you
know.
are you
I
are not
see.
talking from a position of power here, mate. You've caveated yours so hard it basically isn't
Okay,
even a choice.
we're both caveated extremely heavily this week because we're trying to be positive. We're both caveated it. I mean, I could have said, Carl Darlow. Well, I could have really gone for it, but
He's not going to come off the bench. That's a
anyway,
flop.
let's move on.
Go on, move on.
Let's move it on. We were going to go on to let's do team prediction. Okay, I'll go for mine first if that's okay.
Go for it.
We're both pretty much gone the same thing. So I have gone for a 4-4-2. Elan Mellier in goal, Luke Ayling, Joe Rodon, Pascal Struijk, Jed Spence actually at left back in this game. It's not what I want necessarily, but it's what I think we might go with. It'll either be him or who Phil said. We'll go on to that in a second. Nonto, Gray, Ampadu, Sinistera, Rutter, and Perot as a 4-4-2. Now, Phil went the same, I believe, Phil. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Much, yeah,
although you went for Shackleton instead of Spence.
Yeah, I think just based on, I think because, well, I don't know. I'm umming and ahhing now. I'm second guessing myself, but the way Shaq finished the game at left back against Ipswich, the way he performed, he's one of the people that stood out to me against Salford the other night. I actually enjoyed the game in midweek, regardless of the result. I know a lot of people didn't. I thought we played good football. We just didn't have a finish. But there was some players that played well, some players that didn't meet the level that we think. And for me, Jamie Shack was brilliant throughout. And don't get me wrong, in terms of overall quality, yeah, you probably would say Jed Spence is a better footballer and deserves that starting right back slot. But we're talking about who's at left back. Firpo should be starting there week in, week out, let's be honest. But he's not here, so it's
Let's move it on. Let's move it on.
But it's not going to be Yelder. We know that. Yelder's not starting at left back. No chance.
We'll move it on.
It is Shackleton or Spence. So for me, I'd stick with Shacks.
Okay, we'll move it on. So basically on this one is I've gone Spence, Phil's gone Shackleton. Whoever starts at left back will win that point as such, okay? That'll be the deciding point on that one.
Kamara.
Okay, let's move
now, by the way.
Glenn Kamara's been announced. We will discuss that in a second. Let's discuss more about the game then. Yeah. Okay, next one to go to. Score prediction. I'll let you go first, Phil.
I think I went 3-1. Did I go 3-1?
Yeah, you tell us.
I'm worried now. You're going to flash it up and I'll say the wrong thing.
No. I've actually not got it noted. I've not got it noted down.
I'm pretty sure I went 3-1. I said they will score first because that's what's happened in every game so far this season. We can't score the first goal. But I expect our front four to cause them a shitload of problems. There is, like I said earlier, that part of me that assumes side bottom of the league will just come here and beat us. But on paper and on what these two sides are and that starting 11 that we both predicted, we should be wiping the floor with these. Realistically, I could go higher than 3, but I think Pirro will get himself on the score sheet again. Like to see some good performances again from that front four that we saw last weekend, and we should have far too much for them. If we can keep a clean sheet, I'd be buzzing, but I'm going 3-1.
Okay. Only a point if it's spot on with this, by the way, on score prediction. I've gone for 4-1 Leeds. I've gone a bit more. I've gone a bit higher. 4-1 Leeds. I just think if we can score early, it can really, really break this game down in terms of that sense. Because we know Sheffield Wednesday will drop deep, but I think if we score early, they'll have to start coming out against us, and then you've got all that space opening up to Sinistera, hopefully if he's still at Leeds. Nonto, hopefully if he's still at Leeds. Rutter, hopefully if he's still at Leeds. Pirot, okay, we're probably safe there. But you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. They can't all leave, Phil. They can't all leave. But that is the key thing for us, in terms of having so many different options, to really make an impact on this game. Somerville as well, who I said would be biggest flop, could also make an impact on the bench if necessary. But I still can't say we'll keep a clean sheet. I'm still not convinced on that just yet. But it will come. It will come, the clean sheet. Okay.
You know these rules. Can we clip up the part where you said 1 point for correct answer only? Because I know if we win 5-1, you're going to tell me you were closer, so you should get the point.
No. That's what I clarified then. No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, fine.
Got the spot on. 3-0, I don't get a point. Has to be spot on. 4-1.
Cool. Okay. Fine. As long as that's the rules.
Okay. Yeah. Good to clarify that. No
You can
trust
tell-
issues here with Mr. Miles, is there?
You
Dear
can tell
me.
we're both very competitive and don't trust each other at all.
We are extremely good. This is going to be very competitive, I'm telling you. This is going to be competitive. Okay. Now, the next category, and we're coming towards the end. First goal scorer in the game. I'll go with mine first. Okay, I'll go with mine first. First goal scorer in the game, who I forgot to put their image in our library. I forgot to put their image in our library. Absolute shocker. But I've gone Joel Perreault. I've gone Joel Perreault.
We both went the same player.
We've both gone Joel Perreault. We've both gone Joel Perreault. So I just think it's going to be Joel Perreault. I just think he's got it in him. Home crowds, first game in front of Ellen Road. I think he's got certainly got the character to play in it, the personality to really shine in that kind of atmosphere. I just think it'll be Joel Perreault. And his first goal scorer for Leeds, by the way. Not first goal scorer in the game, first goal scorer for Leeds. We can leave this one blank if you want as well. Hopefully we won't need to most weeks. But Joel Perreault is what I've gone with. Who are you going with, Phil?
So yeah, I went Perreault as well. Well done, teed that up nicely. Perreault as well. I did like that you had to clarify there because I did say that they would score first. So maybe I should have left it blank, but I'm going Perreault on the safe side now so that you can't win.
Okay. Not tactical at all there, Phil. Nothing. Not like Phil to be super tactical and take the fun out of something. He loves it. He thrives off it. Big happy atmosphere. He just loves to take the atmosphere away.
Fun sponge, mate. It's what I'm here for.
He loves it. He loves to quiet the crowd down. So let's go to the next one. Player of the match. I think we've both gone the same again. I've gone Joel Perreault.
Yeah. It's hard not to.
I think he's been absolutely cooked.
I think he improves the front four when he's in it. He makes them from what I know it's only one game, but from last week he made those three behind him look better. He made Jorginho Ruta look like 10 times the player we've ever seen him look like before, and you saw what they looked like without him the other night, and that was against lower league opposition. I think with him in the team, that front four is going to look ridiculous, and it's going to frighten every defence in the division.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I just think if we score early, space is going to open up for him. I think he's got a chance of a goal and an assist in this game. I just think he's going to really, really deliver. I think it's his kind of atmosphere. This big chance to make a big impression from the home crowd. He already did last week. I see no reason why he can't do it this week if the performance of the players around him's there, if the supply of the players around him's there. I just think it's going to be a really good debut for Joel Perreault, home debut for Joel Perreault. So let's see how that one goes.
Solid shout.
I really hope we're not
doing Archie Gray as well in the chat. They've both been up there for man of the match in pretty much every game. So.
Well, they've been our best two players for me so far this season. I really do believe that. I think we both said that actually when we did we've done some player ratings. That video will be coming out in the international break. Our player ratings for the season so far. But me and Phil, spoiler alert, have actually got Ampadu and Gray highest rated between us, I believe. I think we're both on like 8 or 9 out of 10. Can't remember what it was, but anyway.
I have a quick
let's
question
go on to
before we move on, if you can. With
the
two new signings announced today, Camara and Gruev, obviously we've not included them in predictions or anything like that, but do you think they'll be involved at the weekend? And do you think that if they are, will it be more than just on the bench? Do you think one of them might start ahead of Archie Gray?
Possibly. I think it's just good to have competition. I think we've got to remember Archie Gray's 17. It can't just be him playing at 46 games a season. I think it's good for Archie Gray to have some competition. I think the fact that Archie Gray can play higher up the pitch, I actually think Archie Gray's future might be higher up the pitch because of the way he strikes the ball. He has got that pass in him in terms of to unlock a defence and to keep the ball higher up the pitch for us. So if we don't get O'Reilly over the line, I think Archie Gray will still get plenty of games this season playing higher up the pitch. There's no way Ampadu's getting dropped, by the way. Ampadu is our best midfielder. I think he is one of the best midfielders in the league. I can't see Ampadu getting dropped, and I don't think he should be dropped for 1 minute. I think there's even a case for Ampadu to be captain if Luke Ayling is to lose his space in the team. I'd probably go Joe Roden out of the two, but I think it's Joe Roden and Ampadu who feel like the clear leaders in this team without Luke Ayling on the pitch. But it probably will be Pascal Stewart who gets it. But so anyway, that is my view on it. I don't know if you agree with that, Phil.
Absolutely, mate. I think, like I said earlier, I don't know a lot of Gruev. The only thing I can really say is he's come from a side competing in the Bundesliga. He's played international football. But other than that, I don't know a great deal about how he's going to fit this system, how he's going to fit the team. I've not watched him play enough, but I do know a great deal about Glenn Kamara. I enjoyed watching him in Gerrard's Rangers mainly, but in the
Could he be a 10?
I don't think Kamara is a 10, no. I think more a
I
6
agree.
or an 8. I think deeper. But like you said, I like the idea as well of Archie playing at 10 with Kamara and Ampadu in behind him. But at the moment, I think, unfortunately for Archie Gray, although we've not necessarily got a proper out-and-out number 10, that front four that we have got at the moment, he ain't going to break into that easy. So he's got better chance of sticking at 6, 8, I think, than getting that 10 role, because he's not getting past Cine, Nonto, Somerville, Ruta, and Pirro, is he? There's 5 great options that you can have there. So I think for him, he'd probably get most of his minutes at that 6 or 8.
I just thought I'd flash this one up off Ted.
No,
Ted Darren.
Shocking.
It's one of them. You have to giggle a little bit. There. Right. So let's go on to the last of our predictions for this game. It's probably the most exciting one. One crazy prediction from both of us. In this game. I'm going to go for. Okay. I'm going to go for Leeds to have 75% or more possession in the game over the 90 minutes. Phil, I don't know if you can remember yours. I don't bet you can't remember what your final one was.
I'm scrolling now. I think my first prediction.
I always tell you what your prediction was.
You made me change it. You made me change it.
Yeah, because you didn't go for a crazy prediction.
I did.
You went for you said Leeds to win by 2 or more goals.
No, I said that we should win comfortably, but my crazy prediction part was, we've got a team that haven't won all season. They'll come to Ellen Road and win. That was my crazy prediction, but that goes against everything.
Okay, so that's complete. So I know, right? You want to be a crazy prediction? Yeah, exactly. It's just you trying to spread your points out. It says if Sheffield Wednesday win, you're thinking, no, I'm not allowing that. I'm not allowing that. No. You're not allowed that. Okay.
I'll take your first prediction for me, and then you tell me. You said season this was a fair competition. It's fine.
You said Leeds to win comfortably. I took that as your answer, considering your predictions to win by two or more goals. Okay. Is that even a crazy prediction against bottom of the league? Who knows? Hopefully it is. But that's what I took your predictions to be. I think that's just you trying to spread your points out. And wise to your game, Mr. Miles. And wise to your game.
Fine. You be wise.
He's sulking now. But, okay, I mean, you can't change. I won't go into it. I'm not going to bite.
Go on.
It's gone on the spreadsheet. Right, so that is our predictions for this game. Let us know your thoughts, and if you like this particular segment on the channel. It's something a little bit. Yeah, it'd be great if people would say no. We just have to can it after one week.
Get rid.
Yeah. Anyway, right, Phil. Before we go into the final bits of this video, any other thoughts going into this game for you?
Again, an easy no. Just shuts that down immediately. No, I mean, I think
can do if you want.
I've said the vast majority of it. I think really happy with the way things turned around at Ipswich. I think people could easily take the, oh no, we've been knocked out of the cup by a League Two side all over again thing and be negative with it. But I'll be honest, I enjoyed the other night. I mean, don't get me wrong, I spent most of it laughing, but I enjoyed the game. It was fun to watch. We created loads of chances. We did do enough to score. I think the XG was nearly 4. So we should have scored goals. I think with Pirro in that team and with the front four, if it looks anything like the front four from last week, maybe you put Somerville in and take one of the others out. I don't know. But that front four is going to be really exciting to watch. Throw Jed Spence in there, and if you take out a Cody Drammer messing up at left back last week, and obviously Byram's not there, but if you did have Shackleton playing as reliably as he has so far this season at left back, you had the excitement of adding Jed Spence in at right back, as much as neither of us think that's going to happen. Maybe one of these new guys gets a game in Spence, Gruev, Kamara. There is serious quality and depth added to this side now. We shouldn't see 2 goalkeepers on the bench. That should have been one of my bloody predictions, actually, which at the time would have been crazy because we hadn't signed anybody when I sent you the message. I could have got away with that. But I honestly think this team, if we play anything like we did at Ipswich, we could genuinely blow this division away. I am starting to look at the squads in the division now, and I'm looking at Leicester and Southampton. A few weeks ago, I was shitting myself thinking we've got no chance of top 2. If we're lucky, I think the prediction show we did right at the beginning, I said 6th or 7th, and I said I wanted to review that at the end of the transfer window. I'm not looking 6th or 7th now. I think,
which we will. We will review that.
Yeah.
I think we should do a full predictions video
Absolutely.
after the transfer window.
If we can keep the players that are currently in house and we can get a couple more through the door, there is no way you can predict 6th or 7th. I honestly think we have one of, if not the strongest squads in the league at the moment. Let's see where we're at in 24 hours. But if we add what we're talking about adding, you got to start looking 1st or 2nd, surely.
Okay. That's a very spicy little pep talk, I think, of Phil Miles. But again, I have to very much go with what you say. I think Jed Spence is such an exciting prospect for having that team. I just love to see him start this game. Even if it's at left back, it's not ideal, but it just makes such a difference. He just adds so much to this team, creates the space for his running, his dribbling for the other forward players. It's just such an exciting, mouth-watering prospect having him in the team. And let's see if we can cook anything else. Chefs Kinnear, Chefs Hammond, Chefs Farke, and Chef Steins, if we can cook anything else in the kitchen for us for the rest of this
I don't think
market.
Kinnear's cooking anything, mate. Kinnear's just signing.
We'll see. Well, that's how else are you going to buy the players? Anyway, right, let's move it on. Because we've got some very important things to announce before we finish this very fine big match preview of the game. Please hit that like button if you haven't done already, and get in those comments as well, and hit the subscribe button as well, because there's plenty more content to come out before this game. We're going to have to respond to Ruev and Kamara signing as well, so that's 2 more videos on their way on this very fine channel. So let's, without further ado, because I'm wasting a bit of time here, let's talk about what we are going to promote first and foremost, because hopefully you can see the Football Concept Awards on my screen. Can you see that, Phil?
Yes, dear.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to leave in the link in the description down below and in the comments a link to the Football Concept Awards. You can also see it here at the top, Football Concept Awards vote. So we are trying to win, if we can, the best club content creator. So if you can vote for us in the Football League, all Leeds TV, that would be very much appreciated. And then if you just scroll down, but obviously if you want to vote for anyone else in this, you can obviously vote for them here as well.
Just vote for us.
Yeah, just vote for us. Just vote for us in absolutely everything, and that'll do us. Obviously, you can then vote there as well.
And do vote now. Go on.
Well, I'm not voting for myself. I'm not going to completely, I'm not going to.
There's enough of us
here.
on the channel. We could definitely outweigh these votes. Come on, let's get it going. Let's get a head start.
Anyway, guys, it would mean the absolute world to us if you could help us here. Best club concept creator, that's what we're going for in the Football League or Leeds TV. And yeah, if you can vote for us, that would be massively, massively appreciated. There are about 150 of you in the chat. If you could all vote for us, that would be the absolute world to us. And anyone who's watching this video later on as well. We do go through a lot of effort on this channel, and we have really enjoyed it. I'm on to the fifth 5.5 years now on this channel. That's quite scary in its own right, but it's been an absolute pleasure, guys. So if you can vote for us, it would mean the world to us. So I'll stop begging there. Because I've got something else to promote. Let me just do this again.
I really enjoy this part. Can I just make a quick joke about you being an accountant and struggling to count to 5 then, before you flash this up?
Why I wasn't counting to 5.
Rewind it later and see.
I wasn't even counting, was I? I don't even know anymore. I don't even know. What I do know, Phil, this is a good segue. I do know this is a fantastic competition. What a competition this is. From the Leeds, a Leeds United fan runs this company. That's what I do know. He's an absolutely fantastic guy. It is football prizes, and they have got a fantastic competition on offer. It's Leeds supporting Leeds. Competition ends Wednesday, the 6th of September. So you've not got long here, guys. 2023, 2024, full squad signed home shirt. What more could you want? Plus 9 instant win prizes, and last season's squad signed shirt as well. This is an unbelievable competition. Prize draw is on Thursday, ends on Wednesday the 6th, and there's not many tickets left here, guys. 78 tickets available at the time of this video, probably less by the time you watch this. If you're not watching this live, check it out, guys. And there's plenty of other fantastic competitions up as well. Not just Leeds United stuff, plenty of other good competitions up here as well. Fantastic competitions. You got some West Ham there, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Drogba. And then what about this one? What about this one? Hang on. This is me and Phil's hero, this.
Nice.
Ronaldo signed, R9 signed Brazil shirt. David Villa, Clivert, Aguero. Look at some of these competitions, guys. And, there's tickets available. $2.95 a ticket. $2.95 a ticket to win an unbelievable competition. And there is also a Football Prizes shop. Check it out, guys. Look at this. Wilfried Gnonto available.
Flog him quick. Deadline's
Italy shirts available. Check it out, guys. Check it out. But no, Wilfried Gnonto, I feel confident will still be a Leeds player. He's been fantastic since he came back. So do check it out, guys. Do check it out. And we will leave it there anyway. Hope that was a good video for you guys. Do check out Football Prizes. The link is in the description down below. And the Football Content Awards. You can check those out for us. And we will leave it there, if that's okay, guys. I think it is going to have to be okay, because I've run out of things to say.
Smile and wave.
I really do. I'm really terrible at finishing videos. I think that's what we've established. I start to really mind, don't I? And that's why I'm going to end this stream. And that's why you should hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, vote for us in the Football Content Awards, check out Football Prizes, and also
smash a like,
check out our upcoming videos.
And all that stuff.
Gruev and Kamara reaction is coming up, and other stuff for the Sheffield Wednesday game. And the match day vlogs are back as well. Fan cams are back with Tash, and the post-match reactions. Do check it out, guys. Thanks so much for watching.